Anyway. New school, new teachers, and most importantly, new classmates who I always have trouble connecting with. Like most other kids with glasses, probably. I had glasses and I had plenty of friends. Just don't be a little shit. I forced myself to get out of my warm bed. Dad would usually drive me to my old school, but this morning the bedroom of my parents was silent. Did they sleep in? Maybe it was a good thing. I didn't want to get the daddy's boy reputation from day one. My parents were probably still tucked in, dreaming about the good old days when everything was so simple and easy. Sweet dreams, even if far removed from reality. I silently sneaked out to the first floor so I wouldn't wake up anybody, especially the peacefully sleeping Oria. I did my best to step on the middle of every floorboard. I used to play like this even in our old apartment. If my soles touched the space between the floorboards, it would count as stepping into lava. The clock was spurring me on with its hands. I need to hurry. Faster, faster. I was too fast, so I needed to circle the hallway once again. Boiling lava was bursting out of the cracks between floorboards. I needed to watch my step, to survive at any cost. Hippity-hop, like a frog jumping on molehills, like a fearful bunny in a grove full of wolves. I made a sandwich in the kitchen, shoved it down my throat, and drank it down with cold tea. My appetite was as good as of someone being led up the scaffold toward a guillotine. Okay. The fox is clearer today, as is the owl. And oh fuck, this dude's changed positions. The frost pattern has changed. The first time I thought it was like a lion facing, like the snout was kind of going here. Now it's kind of like all the way down the screen. That's cool. I lowered my gaze and saw that one of my feet was standing on two floorboards at the same time. Burnt to a crisp, huh? I moved my foot. Disgusting little snakes writhed in my belly, the fear of getting hit and being called nasty names. The clock clicked. Yeah, because when I'm about to get my head chopped off, all I can think of is, man, I could really go for a Big Mac. You know? Just saying. Yeah, they get a last meal for a reason. You're about to lose a lot of weight. Reminds me of this little quip I heard once. You know? Easiest way to lose 10 pounds of ugly fat? Chop off your head. I need to go. It was dark outside, fitting for an early winter morning. This darkness never fully left the houses around here. I took my time tying my shoes, buttoning up the puffy down jacket, trying to delay my unpleasant exit into the semi-dark, into the unnerving unknown. I rubbed my glasses for good luck, though I couldn't remember a single time these thick pieces of glass brought me any good fortune. I really thought, when I read these thick pieces, I thought he was going to say pieces of shit. Whoa. The sky was akin to a giant bruise. Alright. Is the owl still here? On the east side, a black cloud was swelling up. It licked stars up from the sky and extinguished the rising sun. Darkness was plastered all over the treetops. The cautious cries of birds got tangled up in the thicket. I locked the front door with a long key that I wore around my neck. My parents made me wear this noose, afraid that I, being a total klutz, could lose the key otherwise. The wind whizzed on the other side of the gate. It invited me into my new life, towards dubious adventures, and tagged along like an old buddy, pushing me in the back. They're still working on it. Quality assurance is not guaranteed. Wide shadows that pines throughout covered a third of the clearing. Upon reaching the edge of the forest, I hid my nose in the coat's collar. I was squeezing through the fire break, my hair ruffled up and my back hunched over. Tall trees stood on both sides of the tiny trail. The snowy blanket rustled under my feet, and the canopy of intertwined branches above my head cut me off from the already sparse starlight. The night had no plans of moving away from the forest. In this darkness, I thought that was eyes. Fuck. In this darkness, trees remind me of shaggy old women that smelled of burial earth. Their trunks turned into cracked, wrinkled faces with holes in the middle as their mouths. If I lost focus even for a moment, mold-covered witches could drag me into the forest depths. Then my parents would be walking around these parts, screaming my name. But the dead can't answer the living. Aye, or can they? A sense of panic was growing in my chest. I was fine with Dad carrying me to the school in his hands by now if it saved me from watching the darkness rise up in the ravines like black dough. It felt like someone jumped into the bushes behind me, so I turned around. As soon as I started walking faster, I heard the snow squeak behind me. The forest took a deep breath with its giant's lungs. The windfall cracked. The wind and the birds were left behind in the field. Now I could only hear the forest creak. I walked, listening closely, and the unseen presence grew stronger, as if someone was following me, trying to match the pace of my footsteps. I turned my head so fast it made my neck crunch. A tiny trail behind me disappeared into the darkness. Tree branches overlapped, forming a natural tunnel. Who's there? The question escaped my lips and dissolved into the unending creaking sound of the wooden idols, the pines around me. Why did I think going to the forest alone was a good idea? I'm either going mad or someone had intentionally lured me away from my home. Distant lights granted me a smidgen of hope. A country road. Take me home. I ran there as fast as I could, as if afraid the trail would shrink. Clawed hands would grip me by the shoulders, turn me around, and make me look at the faces of the hungry forest denizens. In the end, nobody stopped me. I almost flew to the decrepit wooden bridge, disbelieving my luck. The bridge supports bathed in a spring, tarry and ice cold. I put my hands on my knees and looked up at the forest. They snorted, trying to calm my breathing, then snorted. Trying to think of how that would work. You're panting and then you... Anyway, the thicket was pretending to be asleep. It looked peaceful, lifeless. The remaining part of my commute lied through a snow-laden road, illuminated by sparse lamplights. I chased away bad thoughts and ran as fast as I could from one circle of light to another, seeking protection from electric lamps. Just like in that game where you need to be the first to proclaim, I'm protected. What is this? Tag? It's just in this case, that protection was flimsy at best, with darkness writhing outside its bounds. Then I noticed something remarkably eerie. In a place where the light from an inclined lamp couldn't reach, a hairy, crooked shadow came alive with a guttural roar. Is it a dog or a person? It almost felt like its features deterred light, its unnatural pose instilled fear. My eyes almost popped out of their sockets as I just stood there, blinking, trying to chase away that illusion. What the fuck? Freaking furries, man. But the shadow didn't disappear, and even got closer. My insides were gripped with horror. I stepped back and almost fell into a snow pile. The black silhouette, on the other hand, straightened up and addressed me in a sweet voice. Sneaking around, huh? Trying to steal my soul? Words got stuck in my throat. Who could be talking in such a silky voice here between the forest and the dormant village? Will you say something, dummy? A cat got your tongue? Alright, I'll bite off your nose then. That'll teach you not to poke it in places it doesn't belong. What the fuck, lady? That escalated. A girl stood before me, judging by the voice and the silhouette. I couldn't even reprimand myself for getting stared by a girl before noticing a gaping mouth under her hood with something dangerously shiny inside. I was stunned. Yeah, not the nose. That's important, man. You know, you can take it and that's fine and dandy, but don't eat it. What? Fucking furries. From the cavity of her hood, a frighteningly real fox face was staring right at me. Somebody at Lucky real quick. Tell him to get out of my game. It's just her jaws weren't moving and the eyes weren't blinking. Werewolf has some swag. That's kind of a cool mask. I'm assuming that's what it is. A mask. It's just a girl with a fox mask on. At least I wanted to think that. After a surprise like that, a nervous smile involuntarily crept onto my face. I was just going to school, and then you. What about me? Never seen a fox feed a dog? And indeed, there was a small dog circling the girl's legs. One of the strays that were chasing me yesterday, probably. Sorry, I didn't mean to. After hearing my voice, the dog whimpered, lowered its ears, sniffed me out, and then started wagging its tail. I guess I still smelled of bologna that I ate for breakfast. I was shifting my gaze back and forth from the dog to the girl. She didn't seem scary anymore, just weird. Furries. Her name is Fox. So you didn't mean to, huh? What's your name? I'm Anton. And you? And I'm Not. Hi, Not. Hee 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 hee. Oh, I hate the way that looks. I hate everything about that. You never want to smell of bologna. Yeah, dude. Mom was saying you don't want to get teased for being tired. You're gonna get teased for smelling like bologna on day one. The fuck? Did you stick it in the microwave? She's weird. Definitely has a couple loose screws, but she has a nice voice. My astonishment turned into a mix of happiness and relief. This girl I didn't know was definitely human, if a bit eccentric. I was also a bit angry at myself. This foxy girl was walking through the darkness without a problem, and I shuddered from every little sound. I could just walk away, but this girl had piqued my interest. The next time a police officer asked me about my friends at the new place, I'll tell him I befriended a talking fox. Do you live around here? In the village? The fox girl giggled and purred. What the fuck? She spun around so hard the hem of her coat lifted up. No, dummy. Foxes don't live in villages. God. Did you guys... There's this TikTok the other day that was floating around the internet of, you know, someone doing a caricature of, like, the middle school wolf girls. That's basically what this is. So you live in the forest, then? You've been living under a rock? It's obvious foxes can't survive anywhere near humans. Lady, what the hell are you talking about? Foxes are notorious for stealing from humans, especially in the countryside. Fucking baloney kid. As long as they're foxes. Her jokes were also weird. Just like her carnival mask. Paper mache with fur. Actual fur. Wow. The dog reminded us of his existence with a loud bark. I unfastened my backpack. Dad would sometimes throw food in there without my knowledge. Cookies, apples, or even my favorite crab sticks. Yeah, fuck the cookies. Give me crab sticks. He called it a gift from the bunny. What is this? Treat from the bunny, the uneaten part of a business lunch, or a treat specifically brought for children. Parents would tell their children a bunny asked them to deliver said treat, but it could also be any other animal, a squirrel or a bear, for example. Crab sticks, baby! Fuck yeah, fucking crab sticks. The stray strolled toward me with mincing footsteps, a pleading look in its eyes. The fox did treat it to something, but it was probably still hungry. Why are you dressed like this so early in the morning? Going to a costume party? The girl shrugged, throwing silvery snowflakes off her nose, and her human form along with them, turning into a genuine beast. A real fox. Agile, cunning, and dangerous. A moment of hesitation, you'll be ripped to shreds. She'll tear you up and gulp you down without breaking a sweat. Whoa, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. I couldn't help but just stand there as a stump. Until I heard her calm, melodic laughter hidden underneath the beastly mask. You call that fucking Joker shit calm and melodic? What's wrong with you? Wish you could have seen your own mask, sweetie. Did she say sweetie? I got embarrassed. Went right up to my hair roots. We seen a fox in a zoo once when he went there with Dad. It had patchy fur, was gray and skinny. This girl was of fiery color and furry. Just like in fairy tales. Yeah, no shit, she's a furry. I was still rummaging through my backpack. My fingers that were searching for the dog treats stumbled across some soft, crumpled object. You'll see. The real beasts will wake up soon. Aren't you like 12? Shut the fuck up. You should ask them where they got their human faces. She's straight up the Joker, dude. We found furry Joker. The girl's shadow was dancing in the lamp's light. The dog yapped in agreement. I freaked out and dropped my finding in the snow without getting a proper chance to examine it. Cold wind instantly covered the hole it created with snow. The dog rushed to dig it out, wanting to get its treat, and the fox just snorted. Now I was so embarrassed I wanted to seek through the snow. It was still dark outside of the electric circle. On the contrary, the darkness seemed even more thick. All the neighboring houses were sleeping deeply in its inkiness. I did my best to continue the conversation with the weird girl I didn't know. So you going to school? Oh my, you are a real dummy, don't you get it? I was trying to be friendly. She can't stop mocking me. calling me yeah, beat her ass. This has gone from a horror visual novel to a fighting game. I should have just moved along without paying any attention to this weirdo and her stupid dog. Why are you so mean? Don't answer if you don't want to. Not like I care. Still, something froze me in place, tugged me toward the dark figure. A mysterious appearance, her voice was velvety and just languid enough. I was intrigued and excited. I watched her as people watch fires burn. Oh, stop pouting. Look here. Julka took a lighting to you. The dog was digging through snow with sharp movements, snoring loudly. Snoring? Snorting. The fox turned around and looked the windows of a nearby house at its timbered front through the white mist. The tip of her fake nose was shining under the lamplight. And maybe someone else, too. Oh! I went red again, like a boiled crayfish this time. Is she talking about herself or someone else? I hoped that the semi-dark would be able to hide my embarrassment from the girl. I cleared my throat before asking, and who's that person? I waited, counting my heartbeat. The fox didn't reply. Her sly stare was scanning the frosty patterns of someone's windows. She was reading them like a glass book. I wonder what she can see in those winter paintings. The stray stopped rummaging through the snow. It ran to me, holding my objects in her jaws. A mitten. Could it be the one I found in the forest? What's it doing here? When I looked closer, I realized it was just my mitten. Maybe Mom stuffed it in there when I was asleep? A certain missing boy immediately came to mind. Hey, do you know anything about Bova? I imagined the scene, silhouettes dancing in the clearing. A dance on the night when Vova had disappeared. A boy who, when found, can provide a big reward and maybe save my family. I remember my birthday, when our parents promised to take me and Oya to Disneyland in Paris. But instead of a long-anticipated gift, they gave me a simple brick game console, visibly embarrassed. I was crying my eyes out back then, demanding to take me to the promised amusement park. That was the first time when Mom and Dad had a big fight. My greediness had shattered their relationship. If only I could fix everything, gather everybody I love and take them to Disneyland. On the night Vova had disappeared, I think I saw someone looking like you dancing under my window. It couldn't be true, but I felt like her mask had become even more sly. She got some eyelashes. The fox was sniffing me out. Oh, that got you worried? For yourself or for someone else? Oh yeah. As soon as I thought about my sister, my chest tightened and cold sweat streamed down my spine. Well then, listen closely, a boy named Anton. Boy named Anton. This is a big and scary forest. We're in the fucking town, lady. The fox girl stepped forward menacingly. And I'm not its only tenant. Yeah, no shit, we're in a town. This kid is trying to be all mysterious and shit. Failing miserably. The other beasts already know about you. Beware will come again tonight. Honestly, like at this point, this is when you just deck her. Just bop. Straight on through. This is Russia, right? Like, that's not out of the ordinary. I shouldn't have talked to this evil in child form, I thought, panicking. A boy named Cayman, that's me. When you and your parents will be fast asleep, we'll sneak really close and dance the Macarena. Bum ba da dum ba da dum ba da dum bum ba da dum ba da dum. Huh? Yeah. Take that. Hey, Macarena. But what? Look at you. Your mouth is agape, Antonosha. He saw me near his window at night. Yeah, right. Are you by any chance a dimwit? Hey, fuck you, lady. Nobody'd let me go outside that late. Children go missing here, you know. I touched the plastic frame of my glasses, puzzled by her silly joke. She got me scared to death. Hey, why don't you stop fondling your glasses? This kid sucks. I hate her. Get her out. Get her off my fucking stream. I was also nearsighted once. Listen to me and maybe you'll become smarter. What the hell are you talking about? Remember, what did they call foxes? Cunning? My words seemed to hurt her. Hey, what did you... Sorry. What? Her laughter was like a jingle of a pair of silver bells. Just pull in your leg. Of course we're cunning. If you're agile and brave enough to befriend a cunning fox, I'll help you look for your Vova. There's a reason why you're doing it, right? I shrugged in reply. Her insight was alarming. I know why children have been swarming our forest recently. Sometimes you can find a lot of interesting stuff there. One day I saw a huge pile of candy once and I swam in it until my jaws cramped. A pile of candy? I couldn't deduce whether she believed in what she was saying from the tone of her voice. I showed her another smile, a fake one this time. Boo, so wary. What do you say to this then? She held out her hand in a furry mitten. There's assortment. I bet she stole that. Is that an accent on the O? Or is that just a checker? You guys are... Speaking of getting stabbed in the woods, do you guys remember when that happened to some kid that was like... Their friends were like trying to summon Slenderman? In the city where I used to live, sweets like these were sold at markets or in kiosks. I know what a fucking kiosk is. Don't give me the glossary for that. I saw my favorite bubblegum in a vivid wrapper among the tasty treasure. A familiar name was on it. Turbo. A triangular fox face poked her nose towards me. Take some. My pockets are full of these. Hell yeah. I sat to the treat and catching a whiff of the girl's smell. Fur, fireworks, and citrus, the smell of holidays. My fingers tingled while I was carefully unwrapping the gum. Peachy aroma entered my nostrils and something else, unfamiliar but pleasant. The fruity cube ended up in my mouth. I started moving my molars, chewing the gum. It tasted like your usual Turkish gum, only my mouth went a bit numb. I couldn't believe my luck after opening the insert. I looked at a Mercedes-Benz, an extremely rare and hence desirable collector's item for any boy in the previous neighborhood. My heart skipped a beat. I was barely able to tear my eyes off the insert, still stunned. This is... Now do you see what can be found in the forest? Still, I wouldn't go there alone if I were you. You get so flustered over simple bubblegum after all. Imagine what would happen if you find a travel case worth of these. It'll surely blow your mind. Unusual treats, just like everything else about her. I carefully hid the insert in my bag, as if I was putting a rare butterfly in a can. The fox giggled. This is not how things are supposed to go on a Monday morning. Who are you? I refrained from asking that question. She wouldn't answer anyway, she'd just lie. I really wanted to see what's behind her mask. I was becoming more and more sure that underneath it wasn't just a simple young girl. What if Vova also found a snow pile with sweets and is now rolling in it? Actually, what if he decided to stay in the forest? He must be so cold without his second mitten then. The wind caught her words like a smoke from a fire and carried them deep into the darkness, into the creepy thicket. So she was! Fucking bastard! The trees behind me creaked with their bony branches. But what if something happened to him along the way? Something terrible. The forest reacted to her words, become alive. It sniffed me out, perking up its ears, just like a curious beast. The fox girl pierced me with her eyes again. Wild beasts? You find that scary? I don't know. He doesn't know. Have I befriended a dunce? She's such a bitch. I didn't like being called a dunce, yet being friends with her sounded nice. My grades are good. Really now. Will you come out with me? Good grades, Anton? We'll find your Vova and you'll be able to ask him what he found deep in the forest. As long as you're with me, nothing can hurt you in the forest. You'll see. Worms of worry writhed in my belly. Better run, whispered my ride. I don't believe you. Do you take me for a liar? Extremely. Whatever, you're just like everybody else. The girl sounded hurt, although I didn't know if she was genuine about it. She turned around as if she had immediately lost all interest in me. The gum felt bitter now. I remembered my dad's favorite saying, "Where are your manners, son?" Indeed, this fox was kind to me. Please don't get mad. Foxes can also be nice, like in fairy tales. I just need to know what kind of fox you are. The girl giggled, hiding the nose of her mask in her hands. Wasn't this supposed to be a horror game? Then follow me into the forest and you'll get to know me. But not right now, when it gets bright, and your whole body is shaking, you poor thing. I don't want you to get a stroke. Hey, let me accompany you to school. After hearing this, the dog barked in agreement and stopped messing with the mitten. I leaned in, trying to grab the piece of handwear that almost ran away from me. If we're going in the same direction. We went toward the school and the lost dawn. Here and there, the lights came on in the windows of houses we passed, as if their inhabitants were sending us warning lights. Silhouettes lurked behind curtains. Dogs let out occasional barks. Spirals of gray smoke rose from chimneys. TVs bustled and dishes clanged in kitchens. We watched the village slowly rise from its slumber, while carefully treading the snowy wheel trails. I walked in the left one, and she took the right one. The dog was following right behind us. I expected the fox to bring up something weird again, but she stayed silent all the way to school, as if playing with me, some game only she was privy to. She would giggle from time to time when the dog sneezed from snowflakes that fell on its nose. I was the first to break the silence. So what's your name? Here it comes. Names, names, names. You people always need to put labels on everything. What name would you give to a fox like me? I don't know. Brenda. That's your name from now on. But I've read about Elisa the fox. You know what? You don't mind. Okay, Brenda. I couldn't understand if she was joking or not. I turned around as if looking for an answer. From the dog? From the dark sky devoid of dawn. My silent questions were left unanswered. The school's outline was already in our sight. A giant brick box, stuck in the endless night. Lights in its windows didn't bode well for me. The warden trees were guarding the schoolyard. Screams, childish laughter, and someone's whistling tore up the silence. I went here with Mom when we just moved, and the place looked cozy at the time. Empty corridors that smelled of polish, puffy snow outside. The second time I came alone to get the books and just kept on imagining my peers rolling down the railings, grade schoolers running to the library, and teachers marching down the corridor with the air of self-importance about them. High schoolers were smoking at the entrance, in track pants and wool caps, perched on their foreheads. That man is not a high schooler. I went to high school. This dude looks like he's 50. Their appearance destroyed the last hopes for a cozy school. Their stingy eyes and the teeth, yellow from nicotine. Their smirks, all of it had the same gloomy effect as the cloudy winter morning. Absorbed by my thought, I completely forgot about my companion. I'll wait for you at the backyard after school, near the Hanged Man. Near what? She ignored my question. Don't be late. I hesitated, blowing hot and cold again. Mom always said that when I would have trouble choosing between two options. Thinking about Mom helped me reply. I'm going straight home after school. Well, Antosha, I'm going to let you off the hook. But the others will creep up to you with their smiles and sink their teeth into you. Won't be able to shake them off as easily. Remember my words. What the fuck? The fox opened her mouth with a wide yawn. What kind of trick is this? Someone running in the distance called out my name. I instinctively turned around. A huge snowball whizzed past my shoulder and hit the dog. It whimpered and ran toward the spring. The darkness devoured it. The fox was also nowhere to be seen. She dissolved into the frosty air. Was she hiding in my shadow? I gulped and swallowed the gum. Unlucky. After taking a deep breath, I went toward the school, toward the cutlets and dough, toward the light raining down onto the snow. There's a fresh-looking Volga parked nearby with one of its front wheels perched up in the icy curb. Black like Sooth, as if it was straight out of the horror story Dad loved to tell me when we hid in the attic during a thunderstorm. I remember him always wearing a sad smile while mentioning the black car that snatched children. He would say, "It looks like a funeral car on the inside, white curtains and all. And it has DSC in its license plate. Do you know what that means? Death to Soviet children." Funny. I was born in the USSR, too. Okay. Bye. I could hear muffled voices behind the doors, saw blinking lamps. Darkness creeped along the windows, and it felt like the school was drifting in open space like a lonely, lost spaceship. Paknikana Yupokub. After going up to the second floor, I noticed a crowd around the notice board. Everyone was taking part in a lively discussion. I moved closer and took a look at something everyone was interested in through a wall of backpacks. There was a piece of paper with something printed on it, glued to the left of the notice board. Attention, child missing. Voya Matyukin. That was his name. A fourth grader. That grainy print, Vova looked dead with a black mouth and dark, gaping eye sockets. Could it be that the darkness dwelling deep in this forest invaded his pores and Jesus Christ, kid? A plastic toy gun couldn't protect him from the whispering branches and the howling wind. Empty eyes of the lost boy pierced through my soul, as if pleading. Unable to meet his stare, I turned around and rushed to the window, took a seat on the windowsill. The window was slowly filling up with children, in groups of few. Nobody paid me any mind. In the darkness of school toilets, child voices were hammering a nursery rhyme. For the fox and for the bear, Bunny tasty meals prepare. I turned my head towards them, trying to get a better look at their features, but then my attention was stolen by a loud clicking sound. A female teacher marched down the corridor with her chin raised up high. Her heels were hitting the floor like miniature hooves. A girl was trailing her every step. She was also looking pompous, stopping along the way and whispering some secrets in her friend's ear. She's probably a class representative since she was carrying an attendance register book. Ekaterina, take this, please. No, is that Ekaterina? I think I said it wrong the first time. I don't know. The teacher opened up a classroom door, and the crowd of children swarmed in, screaming and pushing. Out of all of them, tall, red-headed fat boy caught my attention. His face was full of blisters. He looked like the insides of a pomegranate. A bad feeling rose up in the air, on the back of my head, on the hair. I had seen boys like him before, unsettled eyes, cackling laughter. The girl was a smaller copy of the teacher, warned the boy with a wave of her hand, and entered the room through the clearing in the crowd. Some other guy stood in the way of the crowd, and the redhead immediately shoved him. "Move your legs, moron!" The boy flew head first, flailing his hands, trying to keep his balance. The fatso burst out laughing, and a couple of kids joined in his nasty cackling. Yeah, for real, this guy's face is fucked. Their laughter sounded like someone was snipping with huge garden scissors. The classroom sucked all of the kids in. The corridor stood empty. I wanted to grow roots and stay on the windowsill. Just a handful of lampposts outside were battling the darkness. Writhing. They really like this word, writhing. They've used it like 20 times. Writhing like fluorescent fish in the black ocean. Maybe I can still run away? Go outside, dissolve into the dark? I imagine myself running through snow, how it squeaks under my boots, and how I'm becoming lighter and lighter with every step. The ringer's trill blew that illusion away. I tore myself from the window with great effort, and took a couple of deep breaths, trying to at least calm down my mad pulse, and entered the classroom. School, man. School sucks. The prim teacher looked at me over the frame of her glasses, clearly annoyed. I'm the transfer student. I was told to come here. The snowy forest trail was winding in front of my eyes. The pines rustled, but it didn't sound predatory anymore. She buried herself in the register and flicked through the pages. Your last name? Petrov. What are you mumbling there? Say it clearly. Petrov! Huh, you're not on the list. She measured me with a long and heavy stare as if trying to see if I was lying. I wanted to seek through the floor. Hazy faces observed all of that from the left. The classroom breathed and snorted in unison, like a living organism, a dangerous beast. Are you sure? I don't have you in my register. My knees chose the worst time to start shaking, and I felt dizzy. I clutched my fists so hard my knuckles became white. They told me to come to classroom 204 to ask for Lilia Pavlovna, class 6C. Apparently everyone in the classroom took my words for some sort of joke because they were all laughing. What's wrong with this school? The classroom fell silent. The kids hid their smirks for a better occasion. Why do we hire so many interns? They all know how to put lipstick over their bulging lips. But when it comes to a real problem, I have to solve everything. How did they send you here without any proper paperwork? Ugh, we've had the same thing happen so many times already. Wait here, I'll be back. After I have a little chat with him. Yeah, this man is straight up blonde Harry Potter. Is his hair white or blonde? I actually can't tell. I mean, obviously it's white in the thing, but what is it supposed to be? The teacher flew past, mumbling something to herself in righteous anger, and I was left standing at the center of the classroom. Like a convict in front of a firing squad, I lowered my gaze, feeling the mocking stares from all around the classroom directed at me. This kid has no self-confidence. They prickled my skin, danced on it like laser sights. Like, just hit him with the finger guns or something, and you're set. You'd be like, hey, what's up, everybody? I got you out of 10 minutes of teacher time. You're welcome. Once again, I imagined running far away from this place, fighting the clawing wind, soaring high above the pines in one long jump, with the wind in my back as my only companion. The eyes of my future classmates were asking, this new boy, is he one of us, or an outsider, an imposter? Is he sus? Somebody whispered something and stifled laughter rolled through the classroom. Wipe the board! It was easy to guess who was the main prankster here. Hey, Four Eyes, are you not only blind but also deaf? I said wipe the board. Fuck you. My knees weren't the only shaking part of my body anymore. I was trembling from head to toe and I prayed for the teacher to come back sooner. My prayers were answered by the powers that be. And what should I do with you now? Where will you sit? Well, you can sit with Seaman, I guess. Oh, no. No. Fuck. The fatso put his backpack on the seat behind him in defiance, scratched his belly, and smirked. Are you back to your old tricks? Should I call your grandma here again? The classroom went silent. Uh-oh. And what's she gonna do? I'll be the one to do something if she doesn't. Somebody's gotta do something about this kid. Put away your backpack now! Seaman didn't move a muscle. He started studying the portraits of the wires on the wall, looking bored. I needed to do something to resolve this somehow, to save myself. I cleared my throat and continued to stifle silent. It sounded nothing like me. I can sit in the last row. I think there's a free seat. The teacher snorted loudly. She looked at me, then at Seaman, then back at me. Fine, go there for now. And you, Baburin. I'll have a talk with you later. Come to me after class. You'll be on cleaning duty. Got it? Seaman forced out a twisted smile. Juice. Ah! Get out of here. Why would you do that? I walked carefully, afraid to stumble and fall, causing another outburst of laughter from everyone. I took my seat at the back, the last table, where I was met with a pile of old posters. The outcasts took their seat in the classroom ready to start. Excuse me. Now that this is settled, let's start the class. Today's theme is traditions of Russian and international literature in Joskenso's Don't Lie. The fatso turned back to me. His stare informed me of the coming days, weeks, and months of bullying. I've got my eyes on you, said his watery look. After just a couple of periods, I'd already noticed a huge yellow spit stain in my notebook. Then at the cafeteria, the seaman accidentally spilled a glass of compote on me. Oh, gross. You don't want that spilled on you. That'll smell. And stick. Ugh. And he flailed his hands around after exiting the toilet so some of the liquid from his hands would get on me. Just before the final period for the day, Seaman pushed me into a buzzing crowd of girls from our class. They made way, cursing, but I couldn't hold balance and ended ramming my face into the girl I took for the class rep before, right in her chest. He's an anime protagonist. Katya. I immediately stepped back and drying from embarrassment. I'm sorry, are you alright? She suddenly put her hands on her hips. Will you look at him? Groping me in front of everyone. I'll tell my mom. I'll expel you, pervert. You guys are like 12. Stop that. There's some sort of a sadistic pleasure in her eyes, as if she was a child who's about to put a lit match to the chafer beetle. He pushed me. I didn't mean to. We all saw that, you know. No blind among us. She stared at my glasses while showing me a creepy smile. I started to fume on the inside, but Seaman's laughter cooled my head. I pushed you? You sure? He swaggered up to me, enveloping me in the smell of sunflower seeds and rotting teeth, and then pushed me to the ground. Like this, huh? What you gonna do now? The bully towered over me, as if saying, come on, hit me. Let me see you try. Fuck him up. Listen, you. My throat went dry. My lips were moving on their own. My voice was akin to a stifled squeal. Seaman wore a mocking smile. Dude, brush your fucking teeth, man. What's wrong with you? Go on, Four Eyes. Why'd you stop? We're all waiting. If you ever touch me again... Seaman slowly stuck out a finger and poked my forehead. Deck him. Right in the nose. Just kick him in the balls, man. You're already on the ground. It's right there. Seaman was holding his ear and blinking in amazement. Let's go! No pain! Achievement unlocked! Fuck yeah! Go get it, little man. Was I the first person to rebel against his absolute rule? I needed to run, but I was already surrounded by his cronies. Lilia Pavlovna. Petrov just hit Baburin. Seaman's cheeks grew redder and his pimples even whiter, like the... A smile flashed on his face. It was only noticed by his comrades. He got really close to me. The smell of rotten teeth washed over me. You are fucking done. His voice was evil and dangerous, like someone tore the lid off a kettle with boiling fat. I was waiting to get hit, counting the thumps of my heart and guessing where his fist would go. The solar plexus? The jaw? The nose? But he just turned around and walked off. A thought, cold and sober and extremely rational, popped up in my head. I'm gonna get killed today. I was late to leave the school after classes on purpose. Seaman didn't attend the last period, so I was hopeful. What if he decided to dodge the cleaning duty and ran home, forgetting all about me? I heaved a sigh of relief, like someone on death row whose execution was delayed by a day. I didn't let myself forget his tone, his vengeful gaze, and his scary, electrified smirk. While the other students were leaving the school, laughing loudly, I was pretending to skim through my books near a window. I was staring outside, nervous. Seaman was nowhere to be found in front of the front yard, or the school gate. I didn't really believe I was this lucky, so I decided to be extra cautious and stayed for some more time in the corridor that was gradually getting less crowded. All the bustle moved to the first floor. There was a skeleton peeking out of the biology classroom. Some jokester put a cap with the American condor on his head. The sound of running water was coming from the bathroom. I was the only person left in the whole school. I'm not alone, a sudden thought came to mind. I remembered the missing boy. His portrait was on the notice board near the schedule. I remembered his smile, him looking at me. The fact that he's most likely already dead. Hello! I shuddered and turned around. What? At first my eyes stumbled on the black violin case. Then I noticed a girl from my class was holding it. Hello. She sat in the first row of the second column. I could swear I caught her looking at me a couple of times. And I was sneaking glances at her myself. Sometimes it just feels nice to look at something pretty. The spring, the sky, or a girl that's not in the crowd that laughs at Seaman's jokes. I bet she's the furry? Nah, we would have noticed the hair, right? You know, I mean, I know she had like the parka on, but surely we would have noticed something. And the furry didn't have a violin case, she had a dog. I bet we've got two different options here. She wasn't whispering the dirty laundry of other people to Katya. She spent all the breaks just like me, staying in the classroom or looking in the window or drawing something in her green notebook. Hello. I turned red and pretended I was studying the pattern on the wooden floor. It was cool the way you hit him. I don't like the look on her face. Something about this feels very off to me. It's very uncanny valley. I think it's how big the irises are. It's just an accident, almost. I started shoving books into my backpack to at least put something in my hands. Seaman wasn't like that before. He also transferred here just recently. His grandma told me that he almost felt like he went mad. Even the upperclassmen fear Seaman, did you know? But you're different. You're brave. I mumbled in reply. Yeah, right. Me? Brave? A hero has been standing around in the hallway to avoid a beating. The girl looked at me with her clear, attentive eyes. Do you live over the river? In that wooden house? Yeah, that's me. Must be scary living there. You also have to cross the forest. I wouldn't be able to do that. I shivered at the mention of the forest. I thought of intertwining branches of a snake-like trail. Of endless darkness that spread like mold among the crooked trees. They really do have good similes in here. So I straight up lied. It's not that scary. Fuck yeah! Go get it, Anton! That's my boy! What's so scary about it for you? She smiled after a brief pause, as if brushing off a daydream. Well, actually, never mind. My name is Polina, by the way. Hi, Polina. I'm Anton. My friends call me Tony. Hey, I'm Tony. How you doing? Hey, Toots. I already know that. Okay. Fucking make introductions here. Hey, Anton. She stumbled as if trying to decide whether she should continue. What are you doing after school? I'm meeting this fox girl out in the woods. You want to tag along? My chest felt prickly after her innocent question, yet somehow it felt pleasant. Nothing much. I stumbled and didn't finish my sentence. What the fuck? Alisa's predatory smile flashed in front of my eyes. Her playful eyes and the slits of the mask were probably just a product of my imagination, though. Yeah, her eyes are different, too, it looks like to me. What if that fox girl is waiting for me after school? Was it another of her weird jokes? I wonder if she's hiding a big red tail under her coat. I suddenly got covered with beads of sweat, like after a PE class. I wanted to take a shower, as if just thinking of that foxy girl made me dirty. Soiled my clothes. Thinking of the foxy girl made me piss my pants, lured me into the forest embrace. I have a violin lesson and then I'll be free. My grandpa hired me a private tutor. Our music teacher is a violinist and doesn't have anyone to teach here except for me. She waved her free hand in the air, imitating a movement of the bow on violin strings. I could almost hear the music. It chased Elisa out of my head. I looked at Polina's lips, catching her every word, and was frozen from the unusual sensations. They were warm, soothing, and tingly. I don't need to hear the thoughts of a middle schooler like this. It felt like I was very small and the feelings were immense and they couldn't fit inside me. Polina equals Elisa? Their eyelashes are different. Elisa had much darker eyelashes. I don't think they're the same character. They say there's a serial killer on the loose in the village. I bet that's Elisa. Normally, Grandpa would escort me home from school, but he's been sick lately. I snuck a glance at Vova's photo. Ah, shit, I missed the line. What did he say? His eye wells were studying me. His lips were wearing black lipstick, just like the portrait on a gravestone. I mean, I'm not a coward, it's just, I think I'll be safer together with you. Will you go home with me, Anton? Let's get it! Yeah, boy, go get him, dude! Finally, everything that I read about in the adventure books, everything I dreamt about was seeping into my life. A mysterious crime, a beautiful stranger, and a heroic duel. Wait, did I get an achievement? What? Hang on, Tiny Bunny stats. No. No. Thinking of Seaman instantly sobered me up, returned me back to earth, and started shaking under my feet like a deck of a ship. If only I could rise to the occasion in front of Polina. Because no matter how brave I was trying to act, it was obvious for both of us that I wouldn't be able to stand a chance against a big guy like that, and him knocking me out wouldn't even be the worst of it. The worst part is Polina would see all of that, and she'd laugh at me like everyone else. I didn't need anybody to see me in such a shameful state. I doubt I'll be able to today. Seaman's waiting for me outside. I need to deal with him one-on-one like a man. Nonsense! Polina brushed off some hair off her forehead, and I sensed a weak aroma of blackberry. She was like water when you were thirsty. You gulp it down and still wanted more. Kid, I know you're horny, but shut up. I remember the summer evenings at the country house, the fire's pungent smoke, the berries hanging over our fence from the neighbors, and a soft cover of pine needle under my soles. Those few peaceful days where I felt completely safe. My mom resting in the hammock, my dad putting meat on a skewer. Could I have foreseen the upcoming catastrophe? In the crackle of the coals, in our parents' laughs, in the smell of the fleeting July? Could I have seen how fragile that world was? Do you really think that savage will give you a fair fight? God, the art in this game is incredible. Like, look how her eyes narrow. He'll just swarm you with his friends without giving you a chance to catch a breath. Polina suddenly flashed a devious smile. But if we go together, they'll be put off. I'm not only the first violin of this village, I'm also a girl. Yeah, I noticed. I have heard from a delinquent. I know he'll never attack someone when there's a girl around. Can you imagine? They have this weird code of honor. A delinquent you know? I thought, worried. Is he better than me? Taller? More handsome? Oh, I have to go to music class. She made a couple of steps, then stopped. Amazing! Paulina didn't look like those beauties from the magazine posters or the actresses from the movies. But in the flickering light of the ceiling lamp, she looked much more alluring. Kid, can you play anything? I can play tag. My parents bought me a guitar a couple of years ago. I immediately remembered my meager attempts at making music. Change. We're all waiting for change. Soy's songs echoed through my thoughts and my desire to change something. Viktor Soy, a singer and a frontman of popular Soviet rock band Kino, played... Oh, okay, cool. I've heard of them. That guitar got lost somewhere, as if refusing to move to the old house near the forest. I think my parents gave it away to someone that needed it more. I don't, sadly. A pity. Oh well, I'll be going. Bye. Bye. Her shout was captured by the loud echo. Her shoes also echoed through the school hallways. Bye. I wasn't sure if Paulina heard me. I looked out the window again. The schoolyard was empty, just a couple of grade schoolers throwing snowballs at each other. Nobody who looked like the hulking Saiman with his cronies. This was giving me hope. What should I do? Paulina could become my friend, the first one in this new place, and besides, she may be in real danger of meeting a killer, and I'll be her defender, her knight. And even though my inner voice was hesitant and whispered about running away from the killers lurking in the woods at night, Paulina was worth the risk. But the red cunning fox was also intriguing. She promised me to help look for Vova, and this would bring me a reward. More money will almost guarantee peace in my family. Gifts for Olya, I imagine my sister, happy like those girls who get prizes from Shuponev in the finest hour. From what? Sergei Shuponev, a Soviet and Russian TV host. Oh, okay, cool. And the Ivanushki International, a Russian boy band. She'd be dancing with those famous singers, maybe a new popular boys band like Ivanushki International. Mom and Dad hugging in the Ostankino Pavilion, and then all of us going to Disneyland. Alright. Well, that's gonna be it for today, everybody. We're gonna go with Paulina. I just want to throw that out there. We can try Elisa's route in another time, but next up is Paulina. But we're gonna save that for a different stream. You know, I chose Yennefer when I played The Witcher 3. Never had a thing for this type of demeanor. But that's me done for tonight. Great game, man. I don't like many visual novels. This one is excellent. They are probably both horrible. Oh, guaranteed. I don't know. Elisa seems like just a straight up asshole. Paulina seems like she's got something devious going on. A delinquent she knows? Okay, sure. But anyway, that'll be next time. I'll catch you guys later.